Greetings and salutations, Greek students. We continue our study of the perfect tense by looking at some example sentences. These, of course, come from Clayton Croy's Primer of Biblical Greek, where we'll look at some practice made-up sentences to talk about how do we translate the perfect tense. So let's get right into it. I want to begin with practice and review sentence number 2. Akeo kate tu prophetu, halaas lege hati eleluthen apa tu uranu autu. So as we normally do, we want to, anytime we come across a sentence, we want to break it up into its constituent parts. So this first part, we have a question, ake ko ate. Now this is an irregular perfect tense form from the verb akuo, I hear. And you can tell this is perfect tense because you have a sort of reduplication, the ke ko, and you have this ate ending. You don't have your typical kappa that you would expect, kaka, ke, kamen, kadi, kasi, but it's clear enough that there's been some reduplication. This is an irregular form. It's the perfect tense. Second person plural, so you would translate this, you have, you being y'all, second person plural, you have heard of the prophet. And again, akuo is one of those verbs that is a verb that can take the genitive as its direct object because you hear about something. Now, because it's a question, we probably want to reorder this slightly in English to have you heard of the prophet. And so this is, again, in the present state of the past action. Are you in a present state of having heard about the prophet? It's not just asking about something that happened in the past, but as of right now, are you in a state of having heard about the prophet? Go to the next part of this sentence, second clause. Halaas lege hati eleluthen apa tu uranu autu. Our subject, of course, is halaas. How do I know? Because it's in the nominative, right? Nominative singular, masculine, the people. The people, lege, from Lego, say that, and again, hati can be that, or it can mean because. In this instance, in a verb of speech, a verb of thinking, this is giving us the content of what it is they say. The people say that hati eleluthen apa tu uranu autu. Now, eleluthen is one of those verbs that is going to trip you up because this is a second aorist from, this is actually not a second aorist, it's a second perfect. It's one of those irregular perfects from erchomai. And so you're going, how do I get eleluthen from erchomai? This is, again, one of those irregular second perfects, like the second aorist, where it has just become, it just has taken an odd form. So it's just, you have to know what's happening. So it would be, has come. The people say that he has come. So it's the third person singular, second perfect active indicative from erchomai. He has come apa tu uranu, from heaven. And notice this personal pronoun autu, from the heaven of him. And in this case, this is where you have that genitive personal pronoun modifying a genitive noun. This is if we saw this as an adjective, we would look at this as the predicate position. And when you see these personal pronouns in the predicate position, you can translate it as from heaven itself. From heaven itself. So altogether, this would be, have you heard of the prophet? The people say that he has come from heaven itself. Another example, sentence number 5. Poneroi anthropoi le lucan ta heron, kai nun ophelomen synagogein kalus lithus, kai hetoimasai heteron oikon to theu hemon. So this is a fairly lengthy sentence, so we're going to want to break it up into its parts. Poneroi anthropoi le lucan ta heron. So poneroi anthropoi, we have an adjective from poneros, and a noun, anthropoi, which is the nominative plural masculine from anthropos. So we would translate this evil men, verb, from luo, I loose, I destroy. And notice this reduplication is a dead giveaway. When we see this reduplication, le lucan, and the kappa alpha suffix, we are going to go, oh, reduplication prefix, kappa suffix. This is a textbook example of the perfect tense, and it's also third person plural perfect active indicative. Evil men loosed, or in this case, I think destroyed, Taheron, the temple, and now Kainun, verb ophelomen, from ophelo, we should, we ought. Now we ought sunago, and like thelo, ophelo is one of those verbs that likes a complement, and this ain ending tells me I'm looking at a present active infinitive from sunagago, I gather together. We ought to gather kalus lithus, beautiful stones. And notice kalus, lithus, these are both accusative, plural, masculine. We have a adjective followed by a noun. And so the adjective agrees with the noun it modifies in case, number, and gender. Accusative, plural, masculine. So we should gather beautiful stones. Kai hetoimasai. Hetoimasai is from the verb hetoimadzo. And so we can look at hetoimadzo. And so what's happened is we have this psi ending, sigma alpha iota, and that is the aorist active infinitive ending. So the aorist active infinitive from hetoimasai, to prepare, heteron oikon, another oikon, house. And notice heteron oikon, another, functioning like an adjective for oikon as the accusative singular neuter, heteron oikon, the accusative singular masculine. To theu, dative, to God or for God. Hemon, of us or for our God. Now, I want to point out here, we have the use of the present active infinitive in synagogein and the aorist active infinitive. So if we think about the verbal aspect of these infinitives, the ophalomen, we could translate now, we ought to be gathering, right? To be doing this right now. And instead of the ongoing sort of movie clip of synagogein, we get the hetoimasai snapshot and prepare, right? So it's not going to show us preparing, but it's just going to show us that this is sort of what we're doing. And of course, we have this perfect tense verb lelukan. And this is significant, right? Because we're not just talking about the fact that the temple got destroyed. It's not just something that happened in the past, but we're talking about we're in a present state of a destroyed temple because of the past action of the evil men. And that's significant because it's sort of focusing not just on what happened, but on the results of what happened because of these evil men. One more example. Te theneken ha adelphasu, prasu chsamatha, hu per autu, he gar suke autu ex elthen apa tutu to cosmu. No, we have this question mark at the end. So we're going to do the first sentence. Not really a fun statement. Te theneken is from the verb thenesko, I die. And this is the third person. We have the reduplication here. This is the third person singular, perfect, active, indicative. So we would translate this. Our subject is ha adelphos, su, your brother or the brother of you. And it's not y'all's brother, but your singular brother. Your brother died, period. Or probably prefer, instead of just died, has died. Because we could just have an aorist, your brother died. It's just a simple snapshot of a dead brother. But in this case, we're not focused simply on the fact that he died at some point, but it's the present state of that past action. So we're in a state right now where the brother is currently dead. Prasuksamatha. So this is from prasukamai. I pray. And this sigma here tells me I'm looking at a future tense. And notice this whole thing is a question mark. So this sentence, prasuk amatha, hu per autu, shall, because it's talking about the future, we, or will we pray for him, for his soul, suke, subject of this second clause, ex eleluthen, this is from ex or ek erchomai. So this is one of those second perfects, those irregular perfects, ex erchomai, ex eleluthen, for his soul has gone out from this world. Gone out from this world. So we might reorder this to say, since his soul has gone out, or because his soul has gone out from this world, shall we pray for him? Because that's the question that's being asked. It's not a question of whether or not his soul has gone out from this world. It's a question of will we in the future pray for him? So you have this perfect tense verb, theneken. We also have the perfect tense ex eleluthen, and this is one of those irregular from ex erchomai. And we have the future tense here in prasuk amatha. And otherwise, these are normal nouns, adjectives, pronouns, prepositions in this sentence. So the grammar that we're building on is getting closer and closer to the kind of thing that we'll see in actual New Testament Greek sentences, building on these blocks. And this has been examples of how to translate the perfect tense